We have been hearing a lot about how more people are being deported.
And tonight in a Target 7 investigation, we're learning the number of undocumented migrants being detained in our state has not changed much. Here's Cristiana Ramos.
Look at this map. On average, about 1,300 undocumented immigrants are detained every day in New Mexico.
Basically, we would process them and then get them to a facility and then back to their country of origin.
Bob Martinez was the Assistant Immigration Commissioner under President Ronald Reagan. He lives here in New Mexico. Some of these detention facilities have been in our state for decades.
The facilities here in New Mexico play a very important role in light of the fact that, we have a border situation. We're having to deal with that. We had to deal with it back in 1986.
Our state ranks 9th in the nation for the number of people being held awaiting court appearances to possibly be deported. 3% of undocumented immigrants being detained are located here in New Mexico. It looks small, but some say it's not.
We're about 0.5% of the entire U.S. population. So we have really a vastly disproportionate number of immigrant detention beds per capita as compared to other states.
Max Brooks is an attorney for the New Mexico chapter of the American Civil Liberties Union.
And that's very concerning for our local immigrant communities because data shows that, where ICE has immigrant detention beds, it feels pressure to fill those beds.
Our state has 3 immigration detention facilities. This one in Otero County houses about 820 immigrants. The Torrance County facility houses 380. The one in Cibola County has about 163 undocumented immigrants waiting to be deported.
And those are contracted facilities between the federal government and private companies.
Shortly after he took office, President Donald Trump started his mass deportation efforts. And right here is where New Mexico ICE agents work. But the number of undocumented immigrants being detained hasn't changed much in New Mexico and throughout the country. Let's look at this chart. Since September of 2023, the number of people being held has been the same. It jumped significantly a year and a half ago. But Brooks says there's been a change in the types of people being held in these facilities.
Many more of the people showing up in these facilities are folks who have been here for a while. And that makes sense because, currently, and this didn't start with Trump, this started at the end of the Biden administration, border crossings are very, very low.
But if this piece of legislation passes, there's a chance New Mexico's immigration detention facilities would disappear.
They operate under this strange contractual scheme where ICE contracts with a county, which then contracts with a massive for-profit prison company.
House Bill 9, also known as the Immigrant Safety Act, would prevent counties from contracting with the federal government to have detention facilities. The bill's passed through 2 committees, and it's waiting for a vote on the House floor.
There's a loophole that exists that basically incentivizes ICE to continue to place disproportionate number of immigrant detention beds here as opposed to states that have closed this loophole.
For Target 7, I'm Cristiana Ramos.
And if you have a tip for us to investigate, call 505-884-6347 or email newstips@koat.com.